How we doing, everybody? This is Let's Be Real Brad, and today I'm gonna be talking about one of the best Pixar movies of all time, Ratatouille. Before I start getting into this review, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, it means the world to me. You guys are liking the video, subscribe to the channel, you guys are the best. Ratatouille is a 2007 computer animated comedy film produced by Pixar and released by Disney. It is the 8th film produced by Pixar and is written and directed by Brad Bird, who previously directed The Incredibles and later goes on to direct the sequel, Incredibles 2. This film also won Best Animated Feature at the 80th Academy Awards. It is the 12th highest grossing worldwide Pixar film adjusted for inflation at about $849.4 million. For me, I feel as though this is the second best Pixar movie of all time. The reason for this is I think because of the amazing writing, story, humor, pacing, and how much this movie can relate to anybody. Let's start off with the positives here, as the writing is fantastic in this movie. Brad Bird has proven again that he is one of Pixar's best writers, as this movie is chock full of amazing jokes, hilarious dialogue, and really well written, emotional, investing scenes that still hold up to this day and still find something deep and emotional from when I was little when I watched it all the way till now. Dialogue is crisp, clean cut, and it always feels investing to the story, for the characters, and mostly for the audience. The script was so good that it earned itself a Best Original Screenplay at the Academy Awards. The story itself is pretty weird for a normal Pixar film. You have this anamorphic rat who wants to cook. I mean, that is original as it gets. And it's funny because this movie works so perfectly. I mean, I've seen this movie so many times growing up and I'm so used to it, but I wonder how audiences took it back when it came out and thought that was kind of weird of this rat wants to cook, but he knows he can't because of the society and the social structure that he is accustomed to being a rat and not a human. It makes for a really interesting dynamic that proves that animation is just the best way to do a really weird and crazy idea like this. Love how the story is set in France. That is much different from a lot of the other Pixar films that are set in more different worlds, or if it's in the human world, it's mostly set in America. And it really adds to the culture of France and the French food and how cooking can be so important and such a work of art. And it made me just be more influenced older into wanting to make better food and trying to discover the rest of the world, because those are a lot of the themes in this movie of discovering yourself, trying something new, because you don't know what is out there, and it changes your expectations of things just like food. And I think this movie is really important in that aspect. Love the voice performances in this film. Patton Oswalt as Remy is absolutely fantastic. Lou Romano as Linguini is absolutely hilarious. Ian Holm had recently passed away this year, so rest in peace to him. Voice Skinner, and I think he has the best performance so far. I love the character of Skinner, but I think that voice performance is truly iconic. It is hilarious every time he speaks. Animation in this film is truly beautiful. I love so many of these iconic scenes, especially when Remy finally gets to France and you can see the whole skyline with all these buildings. It is absolutely one of my favorite Pixar scenes in Pixar history. I love how there's so many great ways of use of action in this movie, as there are so many great times where like Remy and the other rats are moving so fast with other actions being involved. They really use the time to make the action as useful as possible, and it really keeps the movie so engaging and so entertaining throughout. I love the use of color in this movie. Is absolutely beautiful, just like France itself, and then and how amazing the food all looks in this film. Pacing in this movie is absolutely tremendous in this movie. Like pretty much all of Pixar movies, they are so fast-paced, they're straight to the point, and there's hardly any fluff. There's never a down moment in this film. Even when the movie kind of has its downward section of the film, I still found it very interesting with the fantastic dialogue and the fantastic atmosphere that this movie creates. Music in this film is honestly one of my favorites of the Pixar franchise. It uses this score that feels like it's appropriately used in the French culture, and it adds so much to this movie. I think this is the film that the score really pops into my head when I think about Ratatouille. It is so perfect in so many of the scenes. Music also was nominated for Best Original Score at the Academy Awards. The sound mixing and sound design are excellent in this movie. I love how there's just so many great use of sound, whether it's the bread crunching or the food that's being put together, or how the food's dropping into the water, into the soup, or the crazy explosive action scenes with gunshots, which I think this movie has the most gunshots going off in a Pixar film, or at least the most impactful gunshots as possible. These gunshots explode off the screen, just hurting my eardrums while watching it. Always tiny little sounds that are going on every single time throughout the film, whether it's the little rat's feet walking around. It's just such little tiny amounts of detail in the sound proves that they were so conscious of how they're going to use sound in this film, and it's something that I think is really underrated when you think about Ratatouille. The film also was nominated for Best Sound Mixing and Sound Design. If I'm going to go for negatives in this film, there is none. This movie is a true masterpiece. Seeing this movie for like the 5th or 6th time, but mostly 2nd time as a film critic, I just couldn't find anything wrong. Getting past the nostalgia, I think everything with the writing is perfectly placed. There is no subplot that I felt was underdeveloped or just felt wasted in any point in this movie. It is extremely entertaining with great themes of anyone can do something that you believe in, or not giving up on those things you believe in, and going against the societal culture that we have to break those boundaries. I think is a true message that's going to last a lifetime. This film is a true masterpiece of animation, and it proves that animated movies aren't just for kids. They're not just for little babies. Animated movies can be for anybody, because animation is just a medium of storytelling. I'm going to give this movie a clear 10 out of 10. Let me know, guys, what do you guys think of Ratatouille? Is it one of your favorite Pixar movies of all time? Rank all of your Pixar movies down below, and I will link the original My Pixar Movies Ranked down below in the comment section. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video.